Good morning. This is Laura Ward. I'm here with my assistant who is currently rubbing his head against the screen. Now he's walked in front of it. So I just woke up, and in the morning I often have a little bit of pain in this part of my back. So I am going to show you what the things that I do to release that pain. And I'm actually starting on a hard floor, and I'm going to do some micro movement here, and it's a relative term, micro movement. Micro movement could be so small you don't see it, or I could get bigger, sending ripples and waves through my body. Since I actually have been up for about 15 minutes already, or maybe half an hour, I've made coffee, I haven't finished drinking it. I'm ready to move a little bit bigger, but I'm just going to show you the kind of movement that I do in my body. And since I'm on a hard floor, the hard floor and the relationship behind the hard floor and my fascia is going to have more effect than if I'm on a really soft, cushy thing. Having said that, I do a lot of this stuff in my bed before I get up, and my partner can't feel the fact that I'm moving usually, so I'm trying to move small. But out here, I'm probably going to go a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to get on the foam roller and move around on the foam roller. So I'm just going to start with my arms over my head. I'm really close to the camera right now because this is the hard floor part. I'll be moving away in a minute, and I'm just going to let my pelvis free up, and that means I can stick out my belly. I'm not trying to engage and contract. I'm trying to release and make my body more fluid. So I'm sending little ripples and waves through my body, working through my back. I'm going to take my head so that I'm facing up and just slowing down. So if you're going to try doing this with me, I recommend just looking at the video every once in a while and then doing it on your own with your eyes closed, because if you are paying attention and watching me, the chance of feeling your own body is going to be slimmer. Anytime you take the vision out and just work with closed eyes, you're going to have a lot more sensation. Give your brain the space to focus on feeling and not the visual. So I'm just wiggling, and for me, getting this little massage on my lower back around my sacrum feels really good. If you feel like your bones on the floor are not working well together, use some padding. That's totally fine. But for me, it's actually helping. And I feel like I'm pouring myself around inside. So I'm freeing up my lower back, my spine. I'm trying to unlock my body. And I do a lot of fitness stuff, and a lot of that stuff can put tension in your body. So you don't want to walk around holding all that tension. I dance also, so I need to have a fluid system that moves easily. So I'm just trying to send some fluidity through my body. I showed my mom a video of Susan Harper and Emilie Conrad doing this kind of fluid micro movement. It was quite a while ago I showed her, and she goes, "Oh, what is that? Why would I want to do that?" And the answer is because this is creating freedom in your tissue. Like, how are you locking down your own body? How are you colonizing your own body? See if you can find some freedom. Give it some space to actually feel good. So as I'm going here, I'm starting to stretch away from center a little bit more. So I'm reaching up through my arms. I'm going to squish over, reaching up through one arm and then the other. And giving myself a chance to find that space. My hands are starting to wake up too. So I'm going to roll onto my side. I've been doing a lot of ballet type stuff, and I had a rehearsal of my dancers online, and we did a ballet bar, and I've been doing bar burn. So I'm feeling some tightness in my hips and in my rotators, in my piriformis, in my glutes. That is the main reason why I'm doing this video, actually, to help release that, because whatever's tightening in here is going to pull into there. So I am now going to move over onto my foam roller. I like to start the foam roller up and down my spine. So I'm going to get onto it and let myself just relax onto it for a second, thinking of the tissue spreading around the foam roller, and then starting to slowly move from side to side. And I've got a wide stance in my legs. My arms are out wide. I could roll off of this very easily. And if I do, I'm just going to melt myself into the floor. So think of pouring your body around, not struggling against the floor, but working with the floor, yielding into the floor, letting gravity be your partner, the support of gravity, partnering your body in this dance of life on earth. As Emilie Conrad would say, the founder of Continuum, Life on Land, she wrote a book about it. And I'm slowing it down. So here, as I'm rolling over this butt cheek, this glute, so for me, a lot of that tightness is happening in this area where my femur head, my greater trochanter, that top knob, is connecting into my piriformis, external rotation. That's external rotation. So I'm just letting it weight itself into the roller, and I'm also gonna let myself get a little bit of shear force instead of rolling through. I'm with my upper body, I'm holding the roller in place, and with my lower body, I'm just moving my pelvis from side to side. So it's not rolling so much as grabbing this section of my butt, and I'm moving on top of that without, here's rolling, and here's getting the shear so that it shears. It's really, I don't know. I was enlightened to that idea of rolling and foam rollers not giving you shear if you're rolling by Tom Myers, I think in a course that I did online. So getting bigger. And so also the other place for me is my upper neck and shoulders. I'm going to just lift my pelvis up and roll across the upper traps, arms wide, and I'm going to let my neck and spine be very soft, so they're going to move however they need to move in this position. This is like at the edge of the ocean, the wave crashing and just moving you, not a big wave crash, let's say lulling you from side to side, thinking of the body, your body being a body of water, or a body in water. However that imagery lands best for you. If I want to get more into my upper traps, I'm going to take my head so it's just past the edge of my roller, and I can take my pelvis higher to put more weight on. If this is painful, don't do it. Work somewhere where it's still in the good place. All right, I'm going to come up and roll across one hip. I can feel that place. Now I'm rolling. I'm going back and forth right over that whole piriformis, all the rotators in the butt. Even your lateral hamstring, this lateral part of your hamstring is an external rotator. Oh, yes, that feels good. It's starting to get a little bit more freedom. Try to take your time moving to the other side. Try and take your time as you're moving through this. Change in the body does not occur fast. If it does, either you're cheating using some kind of other substance maybe, or a knife, cutting or whatever. So if you're making changes that are happening quickly, you want to take time. Give it time. This is a time for time. We are in the great slowdown. So hopefully at some point in here, you give yourself some time to slow down. Yes, we are, what is it, the 4th or 5th of April? I've been pretty much in my house for 3 weeks. I can go out and walk around, which is great, but I've been doing a ton of online Zoom classes and embodiment circles and all this different stuff. All right, I'm shifting it. I'm going to take it, I'm actually going to do my upper back before my lower back. So I'm going to put it under just bottom of my rib cage, my cervical vertebrae, and I'm just going to roll through that. I'm going to take my hands behind my head, and I'm going to play with my elbows opening and closing like I have wings. And there's no right or wrong about this. When you learn to listen into your body, you just listen into your body, and you go with that. it would be nice if we were taught listening into our bodies in school, but all the sort of Shinzen, young awareness, mindfulness type stuff is helpful. And it's the same Emilie Conrad Continuum or Bonnie Bainbridge Cohen, like the people that sort of honor the interior and listening to what's happening inside the body. So now I'm getting under, I haven't even gotten to that lower back part, although this is all helping. I'm moving through this lat, back of the deltoid, scapula, and in Laban movement analysis we call this relationship pinky scapula, collarbone, humerus, scapulohumeral rhythm, but it's like an important relationship that it's very connected. Nothing's going to move without any other part of that. And in a healthy rotator cuff, there is a nice amount of rotary factor, internal external rotation in that humerus nestling into that ball and socket joint. That makes it sound like it's really in there. It's actually connected in different points. There is a little area where it's faceted in, but there are other connections. Switching to the other side. And so with the fascia, like if things are, if there's an adhesion, if there's a stuck point in your body, you may not feel that point. You may feel it somewhere else. And for all of us, we have different holding patterns. Our holding patterns change throughout our lives. They're serving us to be able to maintain being in the world. But sometimes you don't need quite as much holding pattern. Sometimes it's going to be nicer to let some of it go. A lot of it is cultural, some of it's familial, some of it's political, especially for people who are othered by society. So there can be a lot of stuff where we are holding to make ourselves smaller, or we're trying to puff out and make ourselves bigger. That happens too. So now I'm getting into this place in my sacrum and lower back, just rolling through from side to side. Oh, it feels so good. And I'm hitting the plant on one side. If it's not me hitting the plant, sometimes it's the cat trying to eat the plants to get attention because he wants to be fed. He's a hungry cat, a very large one at that. So the more that I slow myself down and go into physical sensation, and you can add that sound, that When you add sound, you add more vibration to the tissue. So you give it more of a chance to release. Everything is vibration. The more we can become sensitized to that, the more we can release and be in a sense of flow with what's happening around us. If we're all tensed up and we're not going to feel anything, we're cutting off a lot of life. So for me, that's one reason why I'm not into Botox and all that stuff. What kind of life on your face are you supposed to have? Let's feel those feelings, empathy. It's all there in our interconnected micro movement faces. So it's the same thing. Don't shut it down. If you want to be alive, you gotta invite it all in. I am not trying to be judgmental. If that's what you need, then go for it. If that works for you, do it. What can I control but what's within myself? And in that, why do I want to control it so much? Why not let it set it free a little bit? Hello, belly. So yeah, I'm moving up and down through this section as I roll across. So I can start lower, side, I'm inching my way, and then squishing back and forth. And I'm pretty much going just on my left side. Oh, it feels good. That's the side that has more weirdness in it, crunchiness. And I'm going to let it come around. I'm going to go a little bit on my IT band, but IT bands are supposed to be tight. That's what holds us up. So I'm going to get a little bit of IT band and quad going on here. And I'm going to also try moving that bottom leg around. So here's another thing. Like I can roll or I can just be in the place and move my knee, and I'm feeling a lot of sensation in there. And if we can stop thinking maybe of pain and just switch that to sensation, it can be a liberating way of working with it. I've got my cat here. He's got his feet, little toe beans, touching my arm. He feels very comfortable. We have noticed when he is touching something with his feet when he lays down. Now I'm going to go forward and backward, rolling across. So I'm getting a little bit more IT and quad, although it doesn't feel very intense in my IT band. It feels very intense in my quad as I roll across that. Oh, hello. I'm going to push this down because my cat is not letting me go further up. Taking my time as I roll across. So you may be just watching this, listening to me gab, or you may want to do it with me, and if so, your version might be slightly different. Just tune in. Does it feel okay? Do you feel like, is this helping or hurting? Don't go to the hurting department. And don't expect that whatever is released now is going to be lasting for days and days. This is pretty much a daily practice for me. I don't usually spend this long with it, but since I'm making a video, I'm spending some time. The cat is going to clean himself just to let you know that everything is okay. Everything is safe. We're here. We can clean ourselves. We can groom. Getting a little lower, adding some up, down on that. Taking it in. So I'm really on this section of my bottom quad. Oh, hello. He's a talker. Okay, that's enough of that side. I'm going to take it before I get to the other side. Back, little hamstrings. I'm going to raise one leg to get in there a little deeper. I keep saying little. My verbal tics are little, just, and good. Siding it. Oh, now I can feel it. And again, I'm getting shear in here. So if my roller isn't rolling and I'm letting my leg grab onto the roller, it's going to have a different effect than just rolling through the muscle. So here would be rolling through, and here is shear. That's the difference. Rolling through, shear. So I'm trying to shear on here. I'm trying to grab. You can see my leg is moving. Oh. And this would be, so the places where I feel it the most are sort of the place where I'm connecting IT into hamstring. Back of my hamstrings are very open, but this line where that huge swath of connective tissue, which is really structural to help you stay erect, is working. So I'm going to take it down. Oh, am I going to take it down? In a minute. To my calf. We'll get the whole other side in a minute. Because I'm a ballet dancer, the front of, my calves are extremely built up. And when I say I'm a ballet dancer, I'm a contemporary ballet dancer. I'm not a classical ballet dancer, even though I have been dancing classical ballet my whole life, pretty much. So, but I've also done a lot of other things. I'm going to now move my foot around and use the movement of my foot, the interior movement of my body in relationship to this exterior prop to get more freedom inside there. And I'm not going you could just circle, but I'm trying to find different ways of moving. And as that foot is moving in different ways, so is my whole leg. There's some freedom in there. And this is a tight area for me, especially this outer edge, peroneals. So in ballet, you're trying to point your foot and you're often trying to wing it just a little bit, and that just wreaks havoc. This is like the absolute no-no of ballet. That's sort of what you want. And that puts a lot of work in those muscles. So getting in there, squishing it around. Oh, there's a big lump right under there where I feel it. And now I need to slow it down in there, bring my awareness in there, give it some different types of movement. If I'm feeling a lot going like this, side, then if I just do a little push-pull, it can change that tissue. Sometimes you want to change the dynamic of the space of the movement. So maybe you're moving up, down, switch it to side. maybe forward, backward, or move from the inside and let that start to free it up. This is turning into a way longer video than I had intended. Oh well. All right, so that is done for right now. I'm going to do a quick roll over the front of that leg, if I can, with the cat here. So I'm going to get the front of the shin. I'm just going to do both shins together. Rolling across, in and out. And then slowing down and kind of sitting into it. I'm just going to go across there's my justs. I'm going to go across from side to side. This is actually a pretty, it's not the hardest foam roller, and that is a good thing. It's not as soft as a melt roller, but it's not as hard as some of those black ones. The white ones, it's that same as those kind of a little bit squishy white ones. And then I'm going to switch this to get my whole other side. Hopefully it's going to be somewhat like the first one, but this side's very different in my body, so it might be different. I'm going to start here, getting onto that glute and rotator and shifting my pelvis. There's another way you can get in there by crossing. Oh, but as I get here, I do feel how tight it is in there. Yeah, giving it some up and down in the different sections. So I'm turning my pelvis, so each time I go up and down, it's rolling through a slightly different version, a slightly different location in my butt. The cat has gone. I need to go to my upper back again for a second. So I'm going to start high again and then bring it down. Now that I have a little bit more room without battling it out with Lord Gaylord. So my arms are interlaced, my hands interlaced above my head. There's some nice crunching going on in there. I felt a couple of my scapula, a couple of my vertebrae crack. But I'm thinking right now of really opening. I'm going to get back to my leg and butt in a second, but I'm thinking right now of just opening up top of the chest, top of the heart, top of the lungs. So as a dancer, a lot of times we don't feel it unless it's huge and intense. Like we're really accustomed to doing a lot with our body. So making it smaller, slowing it down, bringing it in, closing my eyes, becoming more internal is a way for me to come into myself and not. Sometimes the biggest thing isn't the best thing. Sometimes we need to get small. Especially for awareness. If we want to build internal awareness and drop down into that parasympathetic place of rest and digest, soothe and settle, we need to slow down, close our eyes, take it in. So the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system are part of your autonomic nervous system. Some people would say it's the part that's involuntary. At the same time, I feel like that's changed so much that now we have found ways to settle right into those places. And with the fight, flight, freeze, that's that response, that startle response that happens for me every time I hear someone else's phone go off or any of the bells and whistles that are going on in our modern life, or even just the fear of this pandemic that we're going through right now. That can land pretty heavily in the fight, flight, freeze. I know freeze is one, especially frozen in fear. It's really fun to talk about these things as I'm rolling. But sometimes that's the place to do it. As we're getting into our body, we're starting to free up some of the stuff that's going on. Everything is stored in your tissue. Everything you've ever experienced in your life has landed in your body, and whether you've expressed it or not, it's in there. So sometimes things that we've smashed down and not expressed are really locked up in there. So great time to start thinking about what's in there, what can you let go of. If you've had a lot of trauma, you want to take this really slow and maybe with a therapist or in a group of people that can help contain the emotional field of what's going on for you. Or in the safety of your own home with your computer. Getting back into the butt, now I'm going to go down, butt and leg. So as I was opening up my heart, we can just talk about it. That's when it was coming in, the wholeness of what's going on. Lungs, breath, breathing. We need that right now. Soothing ourselves, self-soothing. Hands on chest and heart can do it. Getting a little more sideways here. So I'm rolling over my greater trochanter, top knob of my femur. Try not to hold your breath as this is happening. Sometimes I find myself like kind of holding my breath, waiting for something. And I'm going to start to do that forward, backward, across glute, and slowly coming down. Oh, I think I just felt a cat nose on my foot. He's sitting there looking at my foot. I gotta move up and away. So my face might go out of frame, but you can see what's happening in my body. This side is different. Now I'm doing the shear thing, but I don't really feel like I need it so much on this side at that location. Just rolling back and forth, IT band into quad, or also known as upper thigh, side of the leg. Now I'm feeling it really in that quad area. So I roll across. I'm gonna add some up and down. Very different than the other side. I'm taking it into my hamstring. That's why I think took a lot more time on the other side. And then through the outside. And then I'm going to take it down into this calf, which is actually, it tends to feel better than my left one in my day-to-day, but then when I start rolling, I'm usually like, oh my God, there's so much stuff going on in there. So I'm holding as much weight as I need to with my other foot and my hands that I can get in there and not be going to my ultimate sensation. So like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much intensity you're feeling, you probably want to stay within the 6s and 7s at the high end, and more often in the 3s and 4s of intensity. Getting a little bit to that outer edge, front of that calf. And then I'm going to take it down. I'm going to put the other one back up there too, and just circle. So there's a big clunky part in the middle of this side, just like there was in the other one, probably very deep in the layer of muscles under my gastroc. Oh, roly roll, cracking foot. And again, just finding some movement in my foot to get into my calf. I have extremely long toes, prehensile toes. I'm going to get the other one going too, just because that feels good. It brings the movement into my whole body. Chest, lungs, heart, jaw. Try to relax your tongue. Easy, loose face. You can give yourself a little face massage. But yeah, I was going to do massage as well in this. Now I think we're getting there. I feel like I've pretty much gone the distance with this. I'm just going to do a final roll up and down if I can manage the space with my kitty and my clothes. Oh, it feels good. And then shooting it down for the bottom half, and I'm going to get back into this and just opening one side and then the other, letting it massage across my butt as it's, so you can see the roller is moving down. It's inching its way down as I go from side to side. I want to make sure I don't shoot it out at the cat at the bottom. Now I'm on the floor. I'm going to go with a happy baby. Wiggle around in my happy baby as if it really is a happy baby. Tail up. Oh, Let's get back up on that. So this could be very bent position in the legs or legs straight. Pouring myself from side to side. Or maybe staying on one side. Oh, I hear more life in the house. So I think I'm coming to an end of this video. Thank you so much. It's funny when people put their faces right into the camera. Relax your face, relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Thanks for being here. Laura Ward, Body of Water. Oh, there's the camera. Ciao.